Are we fully live now? We good? Ooh, the glare is really bad. Well, hello. Sorry for being really quiet. It is 12:30 in the morning. And there's a good chance we're going to be disturbed by someone being like, "Bitch, what are you doing up?" I also get loud without realizing it, so it's just better to be more quiet. So if this is ASMR, then this is ASMR. But there's no real point to this stream. I didn't have things uploaded for Friday, and I thought I would just upload. As always, I give like 5 minutes for people to show up if they decide to show up, which the first stream I had people there, but there's a chance that it's just going to be me, myself, and I tonight live, and then people will just watch it back and all that stuff. So nothing will happen. Probably. There goes the air. I got down here and it was cold. So prepare for that. I think I'm gonna take this off. But the reason I'm not in my room is because I finally got my room cleaned, and I was thinking of where to put the laptop so I could upload and stream and stuff. And because there's renovations going on, I have the cat litter box in my room and all that stuff. And I had shut my door and was like, okay, this is it. I'm gonna figure it out. Bella came charging through and she took a shit and it's stinky, and I didn't want to have to deal with that and then the sound of the automatic litter box like 20 minutes later cleaning itself. But that's why we're not in the room. So cool, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, this stream isn't gonna have a point. It's just gonna be here so that I had something up this week. But we are 3 minutes and 30 seconds in, and as always, as I said earlier, again, we give it 5-ish minutes so people can arrive if they arrive. So we will be waiting. Oh god, I've got a Coke and a water. I planned to do this way earlier in the day, and I was gonna like get all prepared and all that stuff, but I just didn't do it. So that's my fault. If this ends up being like a half-hour stream of boringness, then so be it. But right now I'm just waiting for it to warm up. I guess I could grab this blanket that I've got here, freshly washed, because the cats were laying all over it, and I have a Jack Skellington one like right over there. That's probably going to be turned into a tie blanket. May or may not be a Christmas present for someone. I don't know yet. But this has like 3 yards of fabric. So there's plenty of it. And it is just full on fleece. It's nice and warm. So we can snuggle up because the Midwest is cold again. We went through that part of the season where it turns like 80 degrees. 1 or 2 more times, and then it just gets cold. But anyway, 5 minutes in, time to start the stream, even though it's just me, myself, and I had, as it says, for me, it's right there, that I had someone pop in like 2 or 3 times. But again, it's just me, so I don't give a shit if I'm just talking to myself. So let me think. What has my channel been lately? I've heard that Gabby Hanna, her new book is still really, really shitty. She really thinks she's some sort of poet. I'm not gonna read it. I said before that if people were saying that it was better than her last book, I would buy it secondhand and give it a shot. But apparently it's just as shitty as the other one. So we're not gonna do it. Still has a shitty attitude, still being a bitch, still is a narcissistic brat. Like, still just a motherfucking bitch. There's not much more I can say about that. She tried to put herself back into drama again to promote something else. Like, she really is stupid as fuck. Like, the audacity of this bitch. The audacity of a lot of people. But the audacity of this bitch has me fucked up sometimes. Just like the customers at my work. Working at a company working at a company and having managers who take the customer is always right thing to heart is really frustrating. Hang on. I don't know if you heard that. That felt good. It's really frustrating because all they do is the customers will just take advantage of you. There's no point in it. Like, let me write something real quick. But when I started working there, and even now, there's always like sets of like, not like it's in the rule book, but it's like in the basics, like customers always right, treat them like this, but there are things we just don't do, and like it's fine. That's just how it is. But when a customer is upset and you've done all of the, listening to them for a while, and you finally either get a manager to do something then, or you check back with them in a couple of days, next time you see them, to see how it went, and they bent rules that we're not supposed to really bend just to make a customer happy, makes no fucking sense to me. Because these customers do that all the time. There's no sense in it. There's no point to it. Nothing. So, I guess, okay, so during a very brief moment where things did shut down, and my workplace shut down for 2 weeks, maybe. definitely a week and a half. But by like 2 weeks, we were already going back in the store, but we were curbside only. So even though we had people like pulling on the doors and stuff, it was just the rule, like, hey, can't come in. We're not going to color swatch for him. It doesn't matter how you try and, skimp your way in here, but you can't come in. We can't bring things from the outside. Too bad, so sad. So you have to do everything online. There were like there was a couple that just couldn't figure it out for the life of them, that for some reason, like whenever they called and said, we want like 1 yard of just random fabric that we can use for masks, people would just be like, fine, whatever, and charge them for that. I was like, what the fuck? If there was problems, we can do a transaction over the phone. It's just that we have to ring it up, and you have to be on the phone. So when we hit the cancel button on the pen pad, and we have to manually enter in card numbers and all that stuff, we can do that, but we're not supposed to really do that. There was a day when the system shut down and just nothing was going through. Nothing whatsoever. And it was really shitty. But the problem was, there's just this one really cute girl. The problem is that whenever people called about it, and we made the exceptions for that day, we made it for 2 days, almost 3, because the problem went on for way longer than what was supposed to be going on. After that, I don't know who I was talking to, but I said, watch it. They're going to be super mad when they have to do the work themselves and go online and all that stuff. And sure enough, even after we reopened our stuff, we still had people calling. Like, I had this one lady, she's been in the store before. I know her voice. Like, she would call. She asked about like pipe cleaners and something else, and green pipe cleaners specifically. So I grabbed them, because normally, once we say, yeah, we got it, they still ask us how many, what's the price, how big, 100 million other questions, even though they could just look it up themselves, but whatever. So, she was like matter of fact being like, okay, I want that. And I knew before we even spoke about it that she was going to try and do that transaction over the phone. But no, it's not going to happen. Bitch, it's not going to happen. But she also wanted specific needles. I do remember that. Pipe cleaners, needles, something else. Can't remember. But when I told her that we can't do the transaction over the phone, either she's going to have to order it online, or she's going to have to come in, because at that point we were open. And I understand some people don't want to come in even though it's open, because this is still a fucking pandemic. But she got super mad. She's like, you've done it for me before. And I said, yeah, that's when we were shut down. Like, our system was shut down. So you're going to have to order it online. Well, I don't know how to do that. Well, I know you. I've seen your name pop up many times on our order sheets. You know how to do it. I don't understand. You're just being fucking lazy. She's like, well, I'm in town right now. Okay, then stop in. Well, I have my mom with me. Okay. She's immune compromised. Why are you taking your immune compromised mom outside? But she did like 3 separate orders. She didn't even order them on the same order. She ordered 3 different times, and it takes about 20 to 30-ish minutes for us to get that order, and then we fulfill that order, and then you'll get an email that says, hey, your order's been fulfilled. So she ordered, and then like 2 of the things processed and went through. But then the other one came in after she had left, and she wasn't happy about that because she got another confirmation, obviously, that the 2 other orders had been processed, but the other one was ready. So we had to tell her that to avoid that, just put everything in on one order. Now, they either don't know how to fucking do that, or they have a coupon that is supposed to be one-time use, but the system sometimes doesn't recognize that. So they'll get things that are supposed to be like one-time use, 50% off of a regular priced item, and use it 3 different times. And that's not what I wanted to do. And that's just not how the world works, bitch. The point of that being, there are exceptions that we make, but the rule still stands that we just don't do that. Something about our return policies is you can return things with or without receipt. If you don't have a receipt, it's the lowest price for the past, I think, like 6 months, 4 or 6 months, and you just have to take the lowest price, and it's store credit. But like, that's just how it be if you don't have the receipt. You can't be like, I bought this full price, and the full price is like $200. But there was like a doorbuster, like 70% off, and that was the lowest price. Like, you're gonna have to take the lowest price, and it's in store credit. You don't get cash back for it. Even if you ask, be like, hey, can I get cash back for this? No, you cannot. That's just how it be, bitch. Something that you cannot return is fabric that's been cut. If you order 3 yards and you only cut off a yard, you can't return the other 2. Even if it's just sliced, you can't just do that. You can't return fabric that you've cut out into little pieces. That's just not how it works. You're not supposed to be able to do that at all. You can return fabric without a receipt, I think, still, but it just makes it harder because then we're like, what is this? Is it a keepsake cotton? Is it a batik? Is this technically a flannel, but it just doesn't feel like a flannel? Is this a homespun? Like, oh God. And if it's like a solid color, Lord help us, because we don't fucking know what it is. But I think technically you can still do that. However, so there was this woman who called me one day, and she said, hey, I am looking for a pattern. It's a couple of years old. I don't know if you guys will have it. And I said, okay, do you have the brand and like the numbers on the top of it? And she's like, yes, I do. And she gave them to me, and I said, okay, and are you looking for it in a specific size? Because, if I came back and been like, yeah, we have it, and then we didn't have it in the size she wanted, she'd be mad. So she's like, oh, I need it in the range where like there's a 14. I think it starts at like 12. 14, 16 at that point. But I told her, wait a moment and let me go find it. I found it. So I thought maybe she bought the pattern before and needed it again, or she bought the pattern in the wrong size and ended up needing it. So I was like, easy call. Great. Origin, what the fuck do you want? Go away. No, Origin, go away. That's what I thought. And she's like, okay, so. I was like, oh, I'm going to be on the phone for a while, aren't I? she starts telling me about how she's been sewing for years. She said like 45, 50 years. She knows what she's doing, right? Well, apparently the pattern is wrong. I don't know much about patterns. I just started sewing. But she was like, the pattern's wrong. And I said, well, what do you mean the pattern is wrong? Um, and she's like, I cut out every piece that I needed, and there's just no way they're gonna fit together. I'm like, okay. She's like, so the pattern is wrong. And I said, okay. And she's like, and I spent like $600 on all this nice fabric and the pattern. And granted, the pattern itself, regular priced if she didn't get it on like $1.99 sale. Even though it was a couple of years ago, I doubt she got it for like 99 cents still. Because I bet you it's clearly not that old, but it probably was like a $23 to $30 pattern. Can't remember, but patterns are expensive. But at any rate, she starts feeling to me about that, and she's like, so what is Joann's gonna do for me? I was like, what? And she's like, what is this store gonna do for me? And I'm sitting here like, well, I don't know what you mean. Because I just don't know what you mean. She was like, well, can I return the pattern? I was like, I'm pretty sure if the pattern's not working or it's defective, according to you, I'm sure the pattern we can return. However, you said you cut the fabric already to the pieces that you need. And she was like, yeah. And I said, we're technically not allowed to take that fabric back. You've cut it. We can't take the fabric back. And she's like, well, I spent all this money. Being like down all this money is really dumb. And there's some fabric that I didn't cut. I said, you can probably return the pattern and the fabric that you didn't cut. It's just that the fabric that you cut, I have been told multiple times, you can't just bring it back because we can't resell cut fabric. Even if we remnant it, I don't think we can just sell the cut fabric. And she's like, well, that's ridiculous. And I went back and forth with her for like another 15 minutes. And I said, hang on, let me grab our current manager on duty and maybe she can tell you something you want to hear. So I turn her over to one of the other people. It was just me and her at that point because we were closing. So I said, Juanita, I've told this lady all that I know. Like, you can either take care of it or she is going to hear exactly what she heard from me from you. So this manager is very accented. She is Hispanic. She's hilarious. I fucking love her. But the reason I say that is because she talked to this woman for another 10 minutes, basically said the exact same thing that I said. And she's like, bitch. She didn't say bitch, but we all know she wanted to say it. I wanted to say it. She said, sorry, nothing we can do. You can return pattern. You can return the fabric you didn't cut, even if you don't have a receipt. But the fabric that you cut, sorry, there's nothing we can do about it. End of discussion, whatever. Tell me why. Maybe a half hour later, she calls again. And she gets me again, obviously. And she says, oh, good, it's you. And not that Asian lady. And I'm thinking, I wanted to stop her and be like, bitch, First of all, her race don't matter. Second of all, I almost said her name. Her name is definitely not Asian, and her accent is definitely not Asian. But I said, yep, what can I do for you? And she just kept on going. She basically repeated herself, and I repeated myself. And I was trying to work with a customer. I'm sitting there cutting a customer's fabric and all this other stuff, and that customer is looking at me, and they're like, "I'm so sorry." And I got off the phone with this lady again, and she's like, "That sounded exhausting." I said, "Oh, that's the second time she called tonight." And she was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yes." And we had the exact same conversation. What I forgot to tell you guys about this conversation was, which was totally bad on my part, was that she said, because she doesn't live in town, she doesn't want to waste a trip. So, by the way, where the areas that we live in, you're to get to and from certain places, you're just gonna have to drive like a half hour. You're just gonna fucking have to. She lived about 35 minutes, depending on which route you take, from the store. She said she lived like out of town. We figured when she said, "Oh, I live out of town, I live a while away," we were thinking like 45 minutes away, 50 minutes away, an hour away. No, she's like 35 minutes away. Like, dumb bitch. But she said to me twice in both conversations, "Listen, I want you to write a note to whichever manager could probably help me the most." And I said, "This manager and this assistant manager are probably who you want to speak to, because they are the higher ups." And she's like, "Cool, write them a note, tell them exactly what we talked about, so I don't have to repeat myself, because I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste your time, but I don't want to waste my time." I'm thinking, bitch, you're just already wasting our time. What the fuck? But she made me do it. And she said she was going to bring in the pattern, all of the pieces, the fabric, all of the pieces she cut. She was going to bring in the pattern. She was going to lie it on a table, because we were going to be ready for her. She was going to show us that the pattern was wrong. We were going to refund her for the pattern. We were going to refund her for the fabric. We're going to refund her for the fucking cut fabric. And I was just like, whatever. Sure, we will. And that was that. A couple days later, come back in. I get the assistant manager. And I ask her, "What's up?" No. I'm going to backtrack. I spoke to another older coworker of mine who does a lot of sewing. And I said, "Hey, what do you know about this pattern?" She looked at it, she's like, "I mean, it's a rather simple pattern." I said, "You worked here way longer than me. Has there been a recall on this pattern before?" And she's like, "I don't think there's ever been a recall on a pattern. We've never had to take patterns off of the floor." I said, "How often is there like flukes in patterns?" And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And I told her a whole story. And she took out the pattern and she laid it out. And she was like, "So what was the lady's problem?" I said, and the lady said she was having a problem with the bodice, and that she wasn't going to bother cutting the skirt out because the bodice is messed up. And she said she's been sewing for like 45 years and she can't figure out how to fix the bodice. And even after I told her, if there's a fluke in a pattern or something like that, if you Google it, there's bound to be somebody who's fixed the pattern and can make it work and can show you different ways on how to make it work. But she refused. She didn't even say like, "Oh, I already tried looking." She just said, "No, I know what I'm doing," when you clearly fucking don't know what you're doing. But coworker, she laid out the pattern and she said, this is probably the most simple bodice that you can have. And I said, even if there's a fluke in a pattern, she's like, I doubt there's a fluke. If she has been sewing for over 45 years, she would know how to fix something like this. Or she would be Googling how to fix it. So we were all laughing at this lady. I come in a couple days later when I see the assistant manager. And I'm like, hey, has this been resolved yet? And she's like, yeah. I said, what did we do? She's like, we refunded her for everything. I'm thinking, why the fuck did we refund her? There's nothing wrong with the pattern. She cut the fabric. The only thing we should have been refunding her for is the fabric that wasn't cut and maybe the pattern. And she's like, I mean, it's not a big deal. I said, yes, it's a big fucking deal. That was like $600. And like, I don't get it because they penny pinch everything in this store. Everything in this store is pinched. But apparently, when you have an angry fucking customer, you just give them whatever the fuck they want. You know, our store ratings have really only ever dropped since I've worked there. Have only ever dropped. It went back up recently. And by recently, I mean, I was at work yesterday and I looked at our store average and I was like, oh, it's gone up like a whole 5 points. We're now at 57. It's still a friggin' D. Or an F score. No, I think it was at 57. It was either at 52 or 57 and it went to like 63. But irregardless, hello. It's like they bend over fucking backwards for these people, thinking that that's how they got their good ratings in the first place. When in reality, these are the people who are going to con you out of $600 and then still leave us a shitty review. These are the same fucking people. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. There was a lady who left us a terrible review about how she couldn't compare her threads. She wanted her threads to be the exact same, not close, like exact. So she bitched about how we didn't have like some sort of lamp for her to see her thread in detail. And now we have a lamp at the cutting counter that is not used at all because no one's going to be like, yo, turn that lamp on for me. I have to fucking see my thread, bitch. It was so fucking stupid. So dumb. The other lady. Wow, this other lady. And now that I think about it, she sounded very similar to the other lady from the first story that I told. Not the one where she was like, oh, I can't order over the phone. Dumb. No, the pattern lady. She called, said, hey, I'm calling about your dress forms. And I said, okay. She says, I want to know which ones you have. And I said, okay, let me go look. So I went over there. We only have small and medium size. They're both blue. They're Dritz brand. And they say this. And I scan it. I scan both of them to make sure that they're same size. And then I bring that up to same size, same price. Bring that up to the phone again. And I say, hey, it's Dritz brand. They're blue. We got a small and a medium. They're this. It's like Dritz brand. And then this was like the sub brand, like my sewing tool or something like that, you know? But she's like, okay, that's not what I want. I said, okay. She's like, I want to know if it's this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. And I'm like, I'm telling you what's on the box. And she's like, well, you know, and I said, and on my device, it's not telling me anywhere. She's like, I want you to go look at it. I don't want you to use your device. I want you to go look at it and tell me what it is that it is. And I said, I looked at it. I just scanned it to bring it up to the phone. That way I didn't have to drag a box over to the phone. And I also did it because of the fact that it might have told me more information, but it is not. And after her being like, ugh, it's just not what I want, ugh. And then she basically did the can I speak to the manager thing, because I said, yeah, sure, I can give you to so-and-so. She's been sewing for a while. She might actually know. And then she was like, well, what? There's actually someone there? I said, yeah, there's usually always a manager here. Now, if you're thinking CEO, if you're thinking district manager, no, dumbass. I give her over to the same woman I was talking to about the patterns. And she dragged a box over there and she read off the same things that I did. And the lady was still pissed off. And she left us such a bad review that the district manager immediately was alerted. Like, if you leave a low enough review, it goes right to the district manager. And she apparently had troubled a store like 45 minutes away as well. And we were told that if she comes to our store, I forgot to tell you, she wanted to price match it. We can price match things. We can't price match sale prices, but we can price match from a lot of different retailers now. But she wanted to price match it, and then she wanted to use a 60% off coupon on that price match. We can price match it, or we could use the 60% off coupon. Pretty sure we can't do both. And she didn't like that. But we were told by the district manager, who district manages both of the stores, the one that she bought them before and our store. And I'm pretty sure it's he was like, she comes in, just give her whatever she wants and get her out of there. And I said, why? Why are we giving these people whatever the fuck they want? Why in the fuck are we giving them whatever the fuck they want? They've already left us a bad review. They won't leave us a good review. And what is it gonna what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? They're gonna do that same shit again because they're gonna get away with it. They're gonna get away with it. Enough. I am calling all fucking companies. Enough. E-fucking enough. The customer is basically never right. Okay? So enough with that customer's always right shit. Enough with bending the rules in hopes of good reviews. And instead, whenever a customer's being like, oh, well, you know, you used to do this, or, well, you used to have that, or, well, you should do this for me, tell them, fuck no, I don't have to do shit for you. Take your business elsewhere. Enough. Enough. It's so fucking dumb. We don't need to be doing this shit because they don't do anything for us. They think they can walk all over you, and they can. Why do we have certain fucking rules and policies in place when if a fucking Karen comes around, she just tramples all over everything and gets whatever the fuck she wants? These dress forms, by the way, were $299. So let me do some quick math for you. $300 times 0.6 is $180 off. I would have made the dress form $120 with the 60. What was the price match? What was the price match on that? I don't know, but it was going to be way less. The lady was just fucking scamming. That's all she was fucking doing. That lady with the pattern is just incompetent, is mad about it, and is just scamming us at that point. nothing good comes from just bending to these people's wills because they're gonna do it again. Like, the older generation is the most entitled, shitty people I've ever fucking met. They really think they deserve things that they really have an audacity I've never fucking seen before. Like, seriously. Like, why? Why the fuck do companies just go, yeah, whatever? Like, if you're annoyed, tell them to shut up. Like, say, okay, if you don't like it, you can take your business elsewhere. You're not gonna hurt us. You're not gonna hurt us. The worst you're gonna do is leave us a bad review, and people are still gonna come around here. It's like when people bitch and moan about how we don't have coupons just sitting there waiting for them at the door. And I hear, well, you used to. I asked my older coworkers, I was like, you know, I wasn't an avid shopper here. Like, I've shopped here before. I've never seen those. Did you guys used to do it? They're like, yeah, we did that like, we stopped doing that like 7 to 10 years ago. Well, you used to. There's a lady who got so fucking mad that I told her we don't carry scrapbooks. I said, we carry the scrapbooking stuff. We don't carry the actual scrapbooks. And I told her I can lead her to a thing where, yeah, it might be a scrapbook, but I highly doubt it. And she gave me a fucking look like, well, you used to. Well, Laura, apparently we don't anymore. Apparently we don't carry it anymore. So what the fuck are you going to do about it? And I turn to the manager and I say, do we have scrapbooks? No, we haven't had those in a couple of years. She's like, oh, well, I guess I have to go somewhere else then. Good, bye-bye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Bye-bye. Fucking dumbass bitch. Like, I also hate it when I'm just doing something and I just hear the customers like abruptly stop to get my attention. And I'm like, what the fuck do you want? When you hear like, and they just abruptly stop. No, not about that, sis. Don't do that. That's stupid. Or whenever like you don't immediately ask them, yo, can I help you with something? Like, I can't read your mind if you need some help and no one has noticed you yet, or no one's paying attention to you because you're just doing something else. Don't get miffed at us because you can't use your words. Just say, hi, I'm having trouble finding something. Can you tell me if you have it, or can you show me where it's at if you have it? It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Sometimes it sucks, but like whenever I just don't know where something is, I go, hey, I'm having trouble finding something. Would you mind telling me where it is, or would you mind showing it to me? Oh my god, it's so weird using your fucking voice to ask for help instead of bitching. Holy shit. New fucking concept. Never heard of her. Never heard of her ever. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, people. I'm gonna do something real quick. I'm gonna look up the dress form on here. They would call the Dritz My Double Deluxe dress forms. I'm gonna go on the site and I'm gonna look. Brand Prim Dritz. Dimensions. Got it. Adjustments. Got it. If she wanted more information, she could have just fucking looked on the website. But these bitches are lazy. Either that or they is so fucking mad. Ooh, we have such a good sale on novelty cotton right now. I love it. We don't have that one. She could have easily just fucking Googled it. And that's all she had to do. But these bitches are lazy. And my favorite thing is that a lot of our coupons are electronic now. Like, oops, sorry. And they're like, well, I don't have a computer. Well, I don't have a phone. That's not my problem, and I'm sorry about it. If you don't get the mailer, go online or ask someone. You have to have somebody in your family who has a computer, unless you are Amish. And we have Amish people come in the store anyway, but like, there's no reason how you can just be this pissed off that you can't get coupons. Just fucking sign up. Or if we say, hello, would you like to sign up for texts and emails? Be like, hey, I don't have that. But like, what about the mailer? We used to sign them up directly on computers. It just takes, with the new system, for fucking ever for us to log in. So we can't do that anymore. Like, the older generations are entitled, despicable, shitty, lazy, entitled, audaciously stupid people. Like, no, I'm not gonna give you whatever the fuck you want. Like, I don't want to be stuck at this store forever. When I want to work my way up to a manager so bad, just so I can say, go fuck yourself. Sorry, that's not our policies. Sorry, we can't do that. Sorry. And then when they leave a bad review and fucking district manager comes around, I'll be like, that's not our fucking problem. Sorry about it. Fire me if you want, but that's not our fucking problem. These people are just fucking stupid. What do you think, Nimbus? There she is. Oh, my back. All right. I think I'm just gonna put an end to this stream. I just want to end the stream by reminding everybody that Pornhub actively profits off of the rape, torture, and abuse of women and children, and their porn stars have a real bad habit of not giving a shit about making money off of child pornography and sex trafficking. So boycott Pornhub and make sure to actively support the sex trafficking survivors, the abuse survivors, and the child porn survivors that come from Pornhub. There's been a lot of fake journalists out there trying to defend Pornhub, but their facts are very easily disproven. And the head of Pornhub has been known to advocate for pedophilia, advocate for incest, and advocate for date rape drugging. So Pornhub is not okay. And again, they actively profit off of child pornography and rape and abuse of women and children. And there have been many sex trafficking victims found on their website, and they'll refuse to take it down at all costs because it's a profit for them. So yeah, there's that. I don't have anything else for this stream, so sucks for that. Retail sucks. Businesses need to stop bowing down to people, and Pornhub needs to be shut down. See you later. Maybe. Bye-bye.